Hello, this is Steve from Beato's Leatherworks. Today's project is these cool pair of Trickers boots. Now, Trickers, it's an old company, and it's been around since 1829. I believe it is still run by the same family, was founded by Baltrup family. It goes back to 5 generations. I think it started first in 1829. Now, they've been in Northampton, England since 1905. And many of their workers there have been working there for generations. Many years, Northampton in that region area has been the hub of shoemaking industries there. There used to be hundreds and hundreds of factories, probably about 100 years back. And now I believe currently there may be maybe 10 left. And most of those factories that shut down, they've converted them into apartments and office spaces, which I think is a good use of property that's vacant and not being used. But getting back to the company itself, I think that it's a good quality pair of shoes, and it's sturdy made. And this particular style is about maybe 30% of their sales. This particular, the boot and also the shoe style. I kind of think the Trickers, whenever I see Trickers, I see the large hole broguing on the uppers. That's what kind of gives it away visually when I see something like that. All right, let's get back to the action. Man, they have enough nails on this heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 nails. 13 of them. It's a bit overkill, but it's okay. That heel base is not going anywhere. Now this particular model here, I like them. They're pretty cool. Now we're not going to do really too drastic of a repair on this pair. We're going to convert them into rubber soles, and we're going to put a custom-made brass. Let's see what we got. I've got these brass pieces that I've cut specifically for jobs like this, because sometimes either the toe's too wide or the customer requests a different style of a toe piece. This is what we're going to use. I'm going to try to use this. Now, the gentleman had made these for me and sent them to me. I forgot the gentleman's name, but I will do some search and see if I can find out. So we're going to try to make this fit. Now it's a bit small. The pattern is a bit small on there, but I'm going to figure something out. We'll see what happens. Leather heel base, which is good. Leather midsoles, good. Wooden shank, not bad. I prefer metal. Obviously cork. Now the soles that we're going to use are itshide. I don't know how it's pronounced. These are the commando soles. I think they are the commando soles. Now these soles are, I'm almost positive they're discontinued. They're not making them anymore. This particular pattern, it's not for every style of boot, okay? Because it's got a pretty wide pattern on there. And if you don't match the pattern, the sole pattern, to the shape of the shoe pattern, it's going to look really odd, because that's got to be centered to that. And if it's not, if it's offset, then it's not going to look good at all. So you're very limited in which style of soles, which style of shoes that you can use this to. This is perfect shape for it. I mean, it's made for it. So this is going to look real nice. Now the trick is going to be to have this centered onto the shoe so it looks nice and clean after it gets done. Once the sole comes on, we're going to stitch it with blue thread. I think blue thread. Let me see, where's the ticket? Trickers, commando soles, brass, French tips, leather heel base, blue stitching on sole matching heels. All right, yes, it's going to have blue stitching on there. And I'm going to cut this somehow to fit into here. We'll make it work. All right. Now the start and finish of the welt, it's not too smooth. This is a storm welt. I'm going to see if I can kind of clean that up a little bit. Nothing really structurally, it's just aesthetics. You know, the way it kind of, it's supposed to be kind of flawless when it meets together, but it's not. So we're going to fix that. All right, now we've got to center this pattern on the shoe. First, we're going to make a pattern of the treads. Simply, if you press down on a piece of paper like that, you should have your pattern. Then you're going to take your cut pattern, put it on top of the leather sole that you took off. Now you can eyeball it, right? But I don't know. I like to be. I try to be precise as possible. Mark it on the leather sole. You're gonna cut this out. We're gonna put it on top of this. We're gonna mark the edges of the leather sole, and then you're gonna cut a little bit off the sole. Then you should have the exact same pattern, right and left side, even like it should be. We hope. That's how we get to the center of the sole. You gotta cut a little bit off here. These are not very good example of how we cut it. Just a little bit. This way, when you glue your sole onto the shoe, you've got a little bit of room on each side. And that'll center the pattern on the sole. Voila. Alrighty. Now, lately, I just haven't been feeling, making videos. Just too much crap in my head, and I can't focus. And I'm like, I just don't feel like making it, because I got to talk and this and that. Just with work-wise, just a little bit overwhelming. I guess that's normal, But I did hire a young kid. I mean, I wouldn't really call him an apprentice, but he's helping me out a lot around the shop. Because Lord knows, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I need a little help. But the most important thing, I got him to learn how to make coffee, which is beginning footsteps, baby steps, whatever you want to call it, of learning this trade, okay? Yes, making coffee. Because making coffee makes the boss happy. When the boss is happy, everything works out. He'll be here in a few minutes. I'll introduce you guys because he's my new barista. His name is Brian. I call him BB. Barista Brian. And he doesn't have, he came in and literally just walked off the street and said, "Are you hiring?" I'm like, "Well, what do you know how to do?" He's like, "Well, I'm pretty handy with my, I'm like, "Do you know anything about the business?" He's like, "Not really." I said, "Okay, well, let's give it a try. At least, taking care of customers, answering the phone, keeping me organized. Those are so much more important things than actually fixing shoes, Because every 5 minutes, somebody walks in, can answer the phone. Those are all the things that pull me away from the actual jobs that I've got to do. And that's why the work gets delayed, because I'm upfront with customers. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my customers, of course. That goes without saying. But the problem is that nothing is done when I'm in the front answering, to the customers, answering the phone and this and that. So he's been quite a big help. I'm getting a lot of work done, which is the good thing. So when he comes in, I'll introduce you guys. Speaking of the devil, looky here. Morning, Mr. Brian.
Good morning.
What you doing?
Just making some coffee for the boss,
You know what you're doing?
And you taught me well, of course I do. Look at that.
This is Mr. Brian. Mr. Brian, say hello to everybody.
Pleasure to meet you all.
All right. Better keep your eye on that before it boils over.
Trust me, it won't. It won't.
Not bad at all. All right, so this one is not going to work because the wording and the shape of it, I've got to cut into the wording there. It's just not going to work. So we're just going to have to cut a piece from the other sheet, and then we'll just have to cut it to the shape that we want. All right, and this is much better for it. That'll be good. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to make all those holes, fit those holes. Keep our fingers crossed. All right, let's take a look, see what we got. Man, oh man, look at that. Every hole. Nice. Cool, let's continue. A little bit of Big Four. I love this color. It's like a cognac almost, a British tan. Very cool. All right, we're almost done. All right, welcome back. We are done with this project. Now this repair cost $465, and it's exactly what the customer ordered, so you should be very thrilled the way they came out. All right, so thank you for joining me again. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thumbs up, share, comment. We'd greatly appreciate it to kind of generate more views for the channel. All right, so the next project might be the Allen Edmonds factory tour that we did about a month and a half back, and then I ordered a pair of shoes. They did it half done, so I can kind of continue the way I want it done, but I'll let you guys know when it's going to be uploaded. All right, thanks again. We'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.